font choices, but it gives you the preview of what that font looks like. Because if you're getting old like me, they seem to change the names. So I can choose the font there. Can I move my Widget menu? Maybe not. I have font size, font color, and I also have options for nested bullets. So if you are one of those, or I use bullets for everything, so I can have nested bullets and some math type there. So that makes it just really easy for you to access those tools. All right, and actually the first time I saw this one, I went, really? It is kind of cool. So they've added a new pen called the crayon tool. So if I go back to my pens, I can choose crayon. And I thought, well, if you're going to choose crayon, you need something to color. So I went and grabbed, if anybody else hasn't seen Avengers, I recommend it. So I was on a whole Avengers theme. So here's my red crayon. I do have other color choices and more color choices. Okay, and if we could have our campuses mute your microphone. So here is my pen, and I can just color. I can So very engaging, and teachers at this time of the year, very therapeutic. Just do a little bit of coloring, good clean fun. We'll put some leaves on our flower. But it does really look and feel like a Crayola. The other thing that I'm going to show you is the creative pen. I believe that we've asked for this for a good long while. So here's my pen tool. Here are my pop-out choices. And I'm going to choose the creative pen. There are all my preset creative pens, but I can go to my properties. Creative pen. There's my properties. Right here it says use a default pattern or use a custom stamped image. I can browse for that image, or I can select an object on the page. So I've pulled our little data projections logo, and now I have a creative pen that writes in the data projections logo. So imagine if you have special needs kids, or you just have those kids that you've got to do something to grab their interest, using their ID photos, and you can have a Johnny pen and a Susie pen and a Sammy pen and let them right away in their creative pen. So creative fun. I always like to use the creative pen to make bullets. That's probably my favorite. And I had something else for you, but I just can't remember what it was. There is another, the last thing I'm going to share with you before I turn this over to James is the fill tool. So I can now actually use my pen to draw a shape, any closed shape whatsoever. And I can use my fill bucket now to fill any irregular shape. So much more intuitive, much easier for you to access. I know before we could only fill regular shapes. So having the ability to fill a shape that you drew works well. So just an overview of the new tools, condensed. We really like them, much more intuitive. I'm going to throw it over to James. They're continuing to add new additional features. So we're going to stop sharing our screen here. I'm going to throw the program over to James, who's our trainer in our Austin office, to go over one of the advanced features that Smart is beginning to roll into the notebook software. Take it away, James.
All right, good afternoon from Austin, Texas, rainy Austin, Texas. We've had more rain in the last 6 days than the first 6 months of all last year. So we're went from drought to flash flood watch. I'm going to be talking about widgets. Widgets are brand new. That came with Notebook 11. Think of widgets as like apps on your iPad or your iPhone, where you're bringing something into the program that makes it a little more interactive. Now, widgets, I've tried to figure, if you look for the definition, it basically just says just some applications that you could add. The one I'm going to work with and basically talk most about is the one at Voki, VOKI.com. Let me go to Voki. I've got a few minutes to do this. It's just, you have to you have to log in, register. That's basically free. And so it allows me to come in and I can create my own avatar. Now, I showed this to a school last week and the teachers just loved it. In fact, they basically didn't want to do anything else but do this. The problem they had was with all the filters and firewalls and everything, a lot of this would not work. I just created one. I've got like a squirrel here, and you could either type in text and it'll speak for you. You could pick like 25 different languages, or you could do a recorder, a microphone, which I just did. I'm going to play this to you, see if you hear it.
James, your tomatoes sure do taste great.
Yeah, all my tomatoes are coming in, but it seems like the squirrels have taken a liking to them. So I have this Voki that I've created. Now, what I could do now is click Done, and then basically what you do is you publish. You give it a name, and I'm just going to call this one abbreviated Tom's, short for tomatoes. Click Save. Now, once again, this saves all this at the Voki website. Think of this as like Facebook or something. It says my scene has been saved. Now, what you get over on this side after you publish it or save it is the HTML code. You have to copy this code into Notebook 11, which I'm going to jump to right now. I'm going to go to a blank screen. And I've already saved the widget from the Smart Exchange. Let me show that real quick. If you go to the Smart Exchange, sign in, and just do a search for widget, you get only a few. I think they've only have like 11 or so. Some of them are timers. But this is the big one right here, the Voki Avatar. And it kind of explains how to use it. And I'll get together some step-by-step instructions because I had to do some changes with it to get mine to work right. So you basically you download it, you save it to your desktop. The next trick is you need to go, like in My Content, create a folder, and I just created one called Widgets. And then basically you do insert, let's see, where is it now? I think it's considered a flash file. Yeah. So basically, you insert a flash file, you go find it on your desktop, and then you bring it in. So mine's right, and widgets, interactive multimedia, and then you just drag it in. Now, it immediately changes. I know it's kind of hard to see, but basically it says type or paste your Voki code into the field below and click Go. Now, here's the trick I had to find with it. I had to kind of spend some time figuring this out. So I have to go back to my Voki. This is where you publish it. This is where you get the code. But I played with it a while. The size of your embedded code makes a difference. It defaults to medium. You need to set it to large. So I hope you're taking notes. Make sure it's set to large. Here's the embedded code. You could highlight that or whatever, but I'm just going to hit copy. So basically it is copied now. It's like doing the Control-C on your PC. I go back to Notebook. Here's the second trick that took me a while to figure out. Right now my entire Voki is selected. If I do a paste, basically, let's see, go up to Edit. I'm going to show you the wrong way. If you do a paste, where's my paste? It's going to paste it all over the screen like this. So you go, what in the world happened? it didn't put it in the Voki. The trick is you have to unselect the Voki, click in the blank field one time. Don't use edit paste, but you have to use the keyboard command. Now, that was the trick. So this is why we need to get some instructions. So if I do Control V, then I actually get it in my Voki. But if I do like just an edit paste, it puts it all over the screen. So now I press go. It goes out to the internet, picks up my Voki from my website, puts it here. The nice thing I like about it, and like all the teachers, K through 12, just love this. As you move the mouse around the screen, or around the head follows you and the eyes, so it's very interactive. I could hit the play button.
James, your tomatoes sure do taste great.
they only eat half of them. So this is a Voki you can have. Now you can do things with it. You can't really make it a link object, but you could add objects over here. And the Voki can be either student created or the teacher created. So that you could have it set to where it gives you instructions, the student instructions.
James, your tomatoes sure
Click
do
on
taste great.
one of the links on the side and it takes you to another page, takes you to a web page, plays a file in your on your computer or anything like that. So that is basically the widget Voki. Once again, I do need to put it in steps. I just basically figured it out a day before the training last week. So it's a little tricky to do, but like I say, it's just there's lots of potential for this. If you go back to the Voki site, let me see if I could get, and go Voki Classroom, you could go into lesson plans, and as soon as my internet catches up with me, you could do a search on lesson plans already created. And I should have already hit this first. But once again, if you have lots of filters or blocks, then you're going to have some issues. But if you work with your tech folks, they could do this or they could allow this. But the kids can make Vokis from home. You could do it in school or anything like that. So lesson plans are still trying to come up. All grades, all subject areas, you'll see some examples. All right, Linda, how was that?
That was great, James. I actually have one thing to add because I was trying to wrap my head around the Widget Tool yesterday. And so when I downloaded from Smart Exchange, I was able to choose Open. It opened that widget onto a Smart Notebook page. And then I was requesting permission to take.
No, I'm waiting for him to release.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. So I was able to grab whatever I had there. I bet those are all locked. So where's something?
Yeah, they're locked.
So I was able to. Did we lose interactivity? Oh,
Still green.
I got to choose my selection tool. First rule of training. So
Yes.
I can grab my object and drop it into my content, and there it is. So that was how I got Voki, the Voki widget added to my content. So I did it differently than you, James. So now we learned something together. And I naturally did the Control V, so I wouldn't have thought to edit paste. So I did that accidentally.
Yes, it took me a while. I would kept going to edit paste, and it fills the screen. So finally, just out of frustration, I used the keyboard, and it worked. So it was one of those moment of discoveries.
It's amazing how many things we learn by accident. So yes, Voki has been around. It has been a tool that has stood the test of time. It's been around for a couple of years, and now the added benefit is that you can actually embed that within your notebook file. Many of the things that we shared today are available under Help in the tutorial. So, and the most interesting thing, we were so surprised last year when Notebook 10.8 came out. I think Smart has always done this. Their help file is actually a Smart Notebook file. Isn't that amazing? So you actually already have this for 10.8, but the Notebook 11 begins with what are the new features in 11. So you'll see that it kind of walks you through step by step exactly what to do. So guys, we want to thank everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, needs, please enter them in the chat in the back channel. Did we get Fairfield joined in? So we just have Lumberton. So, or you can email us. James, thank you. We're so glad to hear that there's rain in the hill country. As always, we are here to help support whatever your needs are with your Smartboard implementation and training plan. If you have something specific where you need help with training, we can customize a session like this specific to your campus. So this is our last Smart After School special for the 2011-2012 school year. So we hope to see y'all again in September, we're thinking. So enjoy your well-deserved summer break. Stay strong for the last couple weeks. It's almost over. So thanks so much. Have a great week.
Yes, hang in there. Have a good week. Bye.